we don't do it alone. And we don't care where the ideas come from. We just want to be part of it.
We create our designs to support people in their lives, to make them feel comfortable, more creative. People can rest.
It's not just a job to me, it's not just work. I breathe design.
Design is not something that we do, it's something that we are. It's how we see our life, how we see the world, and how we challenge our environment.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Guy Dietrich, Editor-at-Large of Sleeper, and this is the fourth and final installment of the Ahead Americas 2020, in which we reveal the winners of our final categories and the big one, the winner of the Hotel of the Year. Hold on, it's all coming up. And before we do, I met virtually with some of our judges a couple of weeks ago to find out what they thought of this year's entries. Let's have a look at what they said.
We've titled the session 2020 Vision, Beyond the Blur. And that's because we wanted to get something of an overview of the sort of major trends that we saw across all the shortlisted projects in this year's Ahead Awards. I'm delighted to welcome our three judges, all of whom were judges last year as well. And I'd like them each to just briefly introduce themselves. Let's start with you, Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg Keffer, and I'm partner and studio leader at Rockwell Group.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Machado. I'm Senior Vice President of Design for SH Hotels and Resorts, responsible for the Baccarat brand, Treehouse brand, and One Hotel brands.
My name is Larry Traxler. I'm Senior Vice President, Global Design for Hilton Hotels.
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you all very much for your time. Let's move on. 2020 Vision, Beyond the Blur. What were the main trends that you saw in the shortlisted projects we had listed this year?
You know, for me, it was about sort of a sense of community in some ways. So each of these had a connection to their locale, and that was very unique. And so it wasn't about the ego of the designer. It was really about, you know, I hate the word authenticity, but the cliche of that, but it really is. I mean, you look at all the properties from like Shinola to Proper to Sister City, all these felt like they belong in the place. And I think, you know, that you as a guest feel like you're invited into that community in some ways. So I think there's a real strong point of view with all of them.
It seemed that storytelling was important. I think there was a great sort of reference to history in just about all the projects, whether it was sort of an authentic extraction of the architecture or a sense of place of where they were. Or if it wasn't necessarily, then it was a very kind of well done and well executed interpretation of kind of some implied sense of nature. So I felt that was very strong, that the narratives were strong. The storytelling, which I think is so important as as also a hotel operator, we find that storytelling just being very important to kind of express that story to our staff. Our staff in turn can sort of educate the guests. So those sorts of things are really important in design.
I mean, they all, like I said, like, you know, they all felt of the place. I mean, I think of like Maison de la Luz. I think that was a really beautifully executed property. And, you know,
this is also a Talieres property down in New Orleans, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And did an amazing job of, you know, when you walk through the threshold of the door, you really feel New Orleans. And every touch from, you know, the room key, the tassel on the room key, and the F&B diversity of what they feel like and experiences. I think they did a really good job of reflecting the neighborhood and the vibe that you would expect from New Orleans. So I think there's lots of really great narratives, and that's just one of them, but lots of properties that have done really excellent job. Escondido in Mexico, I think, was another one. Really feels like, you know, when you walk in, you know where you are. This is a place like no other place.
But again, very much a back to basics type idea there with Escondido. I mean, admittedly, it's only I think 11 or 12 rooms, so it's you know, a different animal to the TWA building, for example, at JFK, 560 rooms. I think that one is 512. You know, is perhaps we could touch on this idea of scale and where how different operators and how different designers are approaching things at different scales.
I think that we're starting to see a convergence of design approaches, whether we're talking about the big boys, the larger urban properties, or if we're talking about a small resort. There's a pared back design palette. There's a real sense of comfort and sort of approachability. As Greg said earlier, a sense of authenticity, connection to place. And you're starting to see that across the board, whether we're talking about luxury, lifestyle, or let's say a resort. You're starting to see a real sort of focus on creating a sense of place, a real sort of reliance on that lifestyle aesthetic, which is layers of different textures, materials, and trying to create something that has a real sense of place. I think that's what the guest is asking for now. I don't think that anybody's copying it intentionally. I think that's actually what, as hoteliers and leading, hundreds of different design projects around the world, that's what we're seeing, that everybody, whether it's an owner and developer or it's the guest in that locality, you look at the hotels that are really successful, they are ones that have taken that real strong narrative, a sense of place, and they're really trying to create something that has a resonance with the local crowd as well.
Yeah, Larry, I would agree with that. I think also, no matter the size, big or small, there's a really strong point of view. There's a personal style that exudes in all of them. And I think that sense of feeling almost like the properties have evolved over time, they were collective, almost like you're visiting someone's home. I think that's really important characteristics that seem to carry through, whether on the smaller projects like Escondido or some of the larger ones. I detected the same sort of mentalities.
This idea of greening of hotels and the biophilia type idea.
But I think what we're seeing is it's really evolving from sort of a novelty to really an expectation from our guests and the guests that we see, especially the younger generations when it comes to sustainability and all those sorts of things. It's kind of evolving from something that's sort of more of a statement to just an expectation, which is very exciting for us. And then how that might start to evolve into more wellness type facilities is all very exciting.
Yes, and I think particularly relevant right now when we consider the post-COVID environment, this idea of outdoors and health and wellness is going to become more and more prevalent as we go along. Because I'd like to sort of touch on a few other things. Larry, you mentioned this muted palette idea. I also saw a lot of maximalist stuff, less minimal, more maximal. Maison de la Luz, you mentioned Greg as well, all the little details, the touch points, lots of artwork going on. The Santa Monica proper, one of the judges described that as a sort of like a gallery space, almost, the amount of artwork. The furniture all is super curated within a muted palette there, admittedly, but sort of this maximalism, minimalism. Where are we headed?
Maison de la Luz really stuck out in my mind, mostly because it was so different than all of the other projects. It was almost like walking into a Wes Anderson movie. It felt like the Grand.
Wasn't quite symmetrical, though, was it?
What? Yeah, not as. I'm looking at the concierge station right now, and that's pretty darn Wes Anderson. Yeah. And that's why it really stuck out in my mind as being different from all of the others, which did have a preponderance of biophilia, muted palettes, lots of natural materials. This one really took a different approach, and it was maximum colors and saturated colors and layers upon layers of narrative and design connections. So I think that people, both designers and guests, are asking for you to take a position. Don't walk down the middle of the road anymore. You're going to be one or the other. Are you muted? Are you connected to nature? Are you blurring the lines between inside and outside? And that's your approach, or are you going to be an escapist haven and a place to really sort of detach and get away from the rest of the world? So I don't think anybody wants you walking down the middle of the road.
Yeah, as Tony said, have a point of view.
I also think, in the instance of Maison de la Luz, it's maximalism because New Orleans is full of life and maximalism in the city itself, right? So it feels right there.
Right.
I think that it's really about, I think we can be in both worlds. That's good,
Anybody got any other thoughts that they wish to sort of take out and draw to our attention?
There seems to be, maybe this is tagging on to that biophilia trend and sense of wellness, but a lot of the successful properties seem to blur the lines between indoors and outdoors, whether, we're talking about the West Hollywood projects, the Hawaiian projects. There seem to be a strong trend towards breaking down those barriers between indoors and out.
This is a nice little seg into another idea I had, was this idea of geography. Obviously, a lot of properties in the US and in Canada, but also, we had Puerto Rico, Colombia, Mexico. We had the Hilton Umbral there in Mexico City. We've got the Escondido we mentioned earlier. So there's a broad range of different things, properties. What does that say to you about the health of the Americas hospitality industry?
Well, I oversee the Caribbean and Latin America as well in my global roles, and I think coming into 2019, we've never seen so many exciting projects. We have a lot of amazing projects popping up in Mexico, in the Caribbean, in the Southern Cone. A lot of I think that lifestyle has not really been a strong player within the Cala region in the past, and it's become the real hot button down there. Everybody wants a lifestyle hotel, even if you've signed up for a Hilton. They want it to be a lifestyle Hilton. So we're having a lot of fun defining brand segmentation down there, but still embracing sense of place, creating something that's truly Argentinian, that's truly Mexican. It's not just Latin America. And I think that everybody is really sort of riding that wave of positive energy in Cala right now. A lot of great hotels coming up. And you mentioned Curio Umbral, which is a adaptive reuse of an old post office. What a great building to start layering hospitality onto, because it was a pretty cold commercial government building in the past, but then you can really take it into the hospitality realm with a real sense of history and memory.
Our trends really seen, whether the properties were big or small, there definitely was a focus on this sense of co-working or spaces that you can carve out and create your own and feel comfortable in to fire up your laptop and do a little work. So it seemed that mostly in all the descriptions and some of the physical spaces that we saw, that was a real focus as well from a trend standpoint that I saw throughout. I'd
just like to take an opportunity now, before we close, to ask each of you what you thought about what would be your what was your favorite hotel out of the shortlist, i.e. what would be your selection for hotel of the year?
I could start. I think there were so many great ones. I think, Shinola is a great project. Excuse me, the one we discussed, Maison de la Luz, was really great. The Proper in Santa Monica. I feel I was really drawn to the Proper, I think in a lot of ways, because of that historical context. And I feel like it was something that I picked up just as soon as I saw it. It wasn't something that had to be explained to me. I didn't have to read a narrative, and maybe, I come from California, I'm a native California boy, so maybe I really picked up on that reference to the early American arts and crafts, kind of California rendition of that sort of back to nature, back to the handcrafted, that sense of evolving over time, of course, but, the heavy textiles, the patterns paired with, simple geometric shapes. There was something really about that property that felt new and fresh, and just a completely modern interpretation of a period, of a kind of a recollection of a period, not necessarily trying to recreate history by any means, because that's not the case, but just sort of recalling this early 1900s feeling of arts and crafts and doing it in a very new way. So that's a property that really stood out to me.
I loved Maison de la Luz. I mean, there were a lot of great properties this time, but again, I saw a lot of consistency in sort of the design approach, and this one really stood out. I think that the historic building is beautiful from the outside, but when you walk through that door, you're walking into a seamless fantasy, and it's really this sort of saturated color and design sensibility that embraces New Orleans and creates a sense of place through that avenue. But what I also enjoyed was the contrast in the guest rooms, which is a very sort of white, subdued color palette, and it almost feels like it almost feels like a movie set. There are these great painterly moments where the design is just really thought out, curated. The art is collected in unique ways. I think they did a fantastic job, and it's very, very memorable.
I think there's so many good ones this year. I think what was interesting, we talked about this idea of community as being a trend that we see commonality through a lot of these. And I think considering that the Shinola in Detroit, to me, was an amazing execution. And also, I think the idea that it was a catalyst for change in some ways, it helped to energize a city that's probably, needed a little input. And so the social impact that it has, community building aspect of it, I think is really, really strong. But then obviously it's just a beautifully executed project as well. The detailing, obviously they're, Shinola as a company is known for their craft and sort of the American-made craftsmanship, and I think that's embodied in the property itself. So just small details, and then the just the eclectic art and the layers and layers of experiences that you have within the property. There's lots of different F&B venues and lots of different experiences. So I just think it's beautifully executed.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. I'm hoping you're going to stay around and listen to the final set of awards, including Hotel of the Year, which will be coming up straight after this little recording is done. So thanks to all of you for your time this morning and before. Great perspective, fascinating range of viewpoints there. And what's more important probably is the positive energy and the fact that you leave me certainly feeling like there are good times ahead and with a real smile on my face. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Now it's time to reveal the final set of winners for the Ahead Americas 2020. But first, a word from our sponsors.
With the increased demand for hygiene we're having right now, consumers are looking for solutions such as touchless products. It's not a new topic for us at Groa because we have touchless products in our portfolio since years right now. Sustainability has been an essential element of Groa's strategy for almost 20 years now. We have an initiative called Groa Go Zero, and we are proud to be the first leading sanitary manufacturer to achieve carbon neutral production. We have also developed technologies such as our Groa EcoJoy that reduces water consumption from 10 liters per minute to just over 5. I believe the combination of smart technology and water-efficient products can help us to tailor kitchen and bathroom experiences that are going to fulfill people's needs and help us to save our planet resources in the future.
And one last time, all together now, please do get social using these hashtags. @AheadAwards, #AheadAmericas, #GoodTimesAhead. We've had a great response from many of you, so thanks very much. We start with the award for suites. It's sponsored by Laufen, and here's the shortlist. Manhattan Sky Suite at Park Hyatt, New York. Master Suite at Fittler Club, Philadelphia. Presidential Suite at Conrad, Washington, D.C. And the Sucasa Dorado Beach, a Ritz-Carlton Reserve, Puerto Rico. And here, the judges discovered a design they described as having a clear point of view that reflects the uniqueness of the property. And here's Laufen's Steve Barry with the winner.
And the winner is Sucasa Dorado Beach.
Congratulations to Sucasa Dorado Beach and Champalimo Design. The judges praised Sukasa for its elegance, sophistication and subtlety. Working on an historic structure within the resort grounds, Champali Mode have created a luxurious private retreat with a residential feel.
To be recognized for such an amazing award, to win an AHEAD Americas Award for Sukasa Dorado Beach is an extraordinary honor. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, the team at Dorado Beach Resort, and all of those creative partners, vendors and artists who worked with us on this project. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the brilliant Anna Bieber, the brilliant Elizabeth Rogoff of Champalimaud, whose design, creative vision, energy, and hard work made this project what it is. Thank you, everyone.
Sweet winner, Sukasa Dorado Beach, a Ritz-Carlton Reserve, Puerto Rico. Our next award acknowledges exceptional design in mobile forms of hospitality, recognizing the growing number of cruise ships, sleeper trains, river boats, and other modes of transport, which place more emphasis on design than ever before. The Transport Award is sponsored by global founder sponsor Grohe, and these four made the shortlist. Celebrity Flora, Esquel, Norwegian Encore, and Sky Princess. Four strong finalists, each supporting the adage that it can indeed be more about the journey and not the destination. And to reveal our winner, here's Grohe's Bob Downey.
And the winner is Celebrity Flora. Congratulations.
Let's hear from the Celebrity Cruises team on what makes this vessel so special.
We have been in the Galapagos since 2004, and the one thing that we have learned from being there is how special, beautiful, wonderful, and life-changing it is to experience the Galapagos.
As a scientist, I've learned a ton about new animals, new behaviors. One of the things I love the best about the Galapagos is you never know what you're going to see.
We really had an opportunity to ensure that the design of the vessel created a very close connection to the ocean and to the environment. So we focused quite heavily on the glass, the windows, and created an outward-facing connection no matter where you are on board the ship. 100% of the suites feature floor-to-ceiling windows that bring the daylight into the living and the bedroom areas.
Designing Flora has been a very humbling experience. It was really getting in touch with nature. It was about make sure that this beautiful natural environment comes first, and it's all reflected in our design in a seamless way.
The Galapagos has always been a great inspiration for my work. The sand, the volcanic ashes, the leaves, all of those textures put together have a place in my furniture.
We wanted to make sure that we made a statement with this ship, that the Galapagos is a pristine, beautiful place in the world, and it is our desire and intention to preserve that in every way that we can, and to bring it on board our ship so that our guests can experience it not only in the beautiful places and islands they visit throughout their cruise, but also every minute they spend on this magnificent new ship.
AHEAD America's Transport winner, Celebrity Flora.
We like to look each other in the eye and extend a welcoming hand. We like to chat, even if it's just about the weather or yesterday's game. And the sun. We love the sun. We like to celebrate life and its wonders. We like to transform ideas into reality, and we like it even more if it brings a smile. We like to be at the forefront, but we'd never switch a conversation for technology. We like to acknowledge that we're all uniquely different and our needs are not the same. We like design, if design makes life easier. We like order and also like to throw it all up in the air sometimes and think to the future thinking of others, those who are near and afar. We like to remember that most significant things are built together as a family. But what we like most of all is to be by your side. That's why we've always been there, the way we like it, for over 100 years. Rocker, there for you.
And now we move on to our Visual Identity Award, presented by Rocher. Here, the judges looked not just at the interior design of the hotel, but the graphics, the online presence, the use of art and signage, and how these integrate with and reflect the hotel's aesthetic identity and personality. The judges saw that the visual identity of our winner is clean, concise, and clever, all with a big dose of fun. To reveal this winner, here's Rocher's Jorge Torres.
And the winner is Sister City. Congratulations to Sister City.
Well done to Sister City and Italia Ace. The judges saw that the visual identity successfully captured the spirit of the property with a stripped down, back to basics approach and bold willingness to break the rules. The judges loved the style that Sister City exudes, along with numerous smart touches that made them wonder, why didn't anybody do this before?
We're honored that Sister City has been selected for the Ahead Americas Award. This project was completely designed and concepted in-house by the Atelier Ace, our in-house creative studio. I want to thank everyone that worked and contributed to this project.
Many congratulations, our visual identity winner, Sister City, New York. Our penultimate award is for this year's Best New Concept, with the judges looking for innovation, invention, and creativity. Their winner is one they felt brought something new to the hospitality industry. So to reveal this winner, from sponsor RH Contract, it's Claire Eels.
And the winner is Nayara Tinted Camp. Congratulations.
Let's take a closer look at Nayara. Nayara is a simple and straightforward definition of new luxury. This winning concept sees the seamless integration of indoor to outdoor. It takes into consideration the importance of the site and elevates the luxury experience whilst keeping a harmonious relationship with the natural surroundings. Congratulations to New Concept Award winner Nayara Tinted Camp, San Carlos, Costa Rica. Our final award celebrates the very best the industry has to offer. It's the Ahead America's Hotel of the Year Award. To choose this ultimate winner, the judges voted for the project that, in their opinion, was the most coherent and consistent combination of architecture, interior design, and other elements to deliver an incredible guest experience. As ever, this was a very difficult decision for the judges. But in the end, after careful consideration, I can now reveal the top 4 projects. So, in reverse order, let's see who is in the final running. In 4th place, it's that beautiful boutique hotel from Grupo Habitat, Escondido, Oaxaca. In 3rd place, a new vision of luxury for New Orleans, it's Maison de la Luz. In 2nd place, and a close runner-up, bringing delightful design to downtown Detroit, it's Shinola. But when it came to number 1, it was the project, in the words of the judges, which created a unique atmosphere and holistic concept across all touch points, with impeccable attention to detail and tastefully done. So to reveal the winner from our global founder sponsor Grohair, Bob Downey. Welcome back, Bob, and great to have you with us.
And the winner is Santa Monica Proper Hotel. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Santa Monica Proper Hotel. Already a winner in 2 categories, guest rooms and lobby and public spaces, and now at the top of the pile. The judges said that the Santa Monica Proper Hotel exceeds the expected environment of a hotel in a very chic manner, with beautiful levels of comfort introduced by interior designer Kelly Wersler. Every item is curated with passion, as an art piece. The mixing of vintage and modern makes this a unique and very stylish hotel for the sophisticated traveler.
Hi everyone, I'm Brian DeLoe from Proper Hospitality and the Core Group here in Santa Monica, California, just a couple blocks away from our Santa Monica Proper Hotel. I am so thrilled to accept an award on behalf of Proper. Thank you so much to Ahead for the recognition. You know, building a hotel, creating a hotel company is a total team effort. And so I'm accepting this award on behalf of the incredibly talented development team at the Core Group, our amazing and visionary operators at Proper Hospitality, and of course the entire design team with Kelly Wursler and her design team. We're such big fans of Ahead. I was at the award ceremony in person last year in Miami. I wish I could be there in person now. I wish we all could be together. But in the meantime, I just wanted to thank you for the recognition. We're thrilled and we're honored, and let's do what we can as an industry and as a group to think about Black Lives Matter and really fight for change when it comes to racial inequality.
Ahead America's 2020 Hotel of the Year, Santa Monica Proper Hotel. Congratulations to them and to Kelly Wursler. Well, that's it for Ahead America's 2020. Thanks for being with us. I hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as we've had fun putting it together. Huge thanks to our supporters and sponsors, particularly our global sponsors Laufen, RH Contract, Rocha, Villeroy & Boch, foundation sponsor Janice at Sea, event sponsors Tucci and Preciosa, trophy sponsor Lasvit, and global founder sponsor Groha. My warmest congratulations to all of this year's worthy winners. Something for us all to celebrate in this great industry of ours. There are more good times ahead. Keep an eye on our social channels to find out more about our plans for the latter part of the year. And of course, most importantly, thank you for watching. Ciao for now.